Today's Q&A. I'm so happy to have you here. Please say hello and where you're from. And if you do have questions, so of course, I hope that you were here yesterday for the Dr. Janine show and you've got your questions ready for me. So make sure you're putting them in the comments section and I'll do my best to answer everybody's questions. We had such a great show yesterday. We talked about SLE, lupus. We talked about plantar fasciitis. And I gave you some tips, of course, natural tips on what we can do for both of these conditions. We also talked about migraines and chronic headaches. And I shared my natural tips for that. If you want to see any of the screenshots of the screens, of course, of my lists, we can definitely do that. So just put it in the comments if there's something that specifically you want to see from yesterday's show. And of course, we did some exercises for snoring. So this is remarkable. When you start to strengthen the muscles around the palate, this is something that can really help to get rid of the snoring. So maybe this is for you or someone that you love that you maybe sleep in the close vicinity with and they're keeping you up at night, that you definitely want to share this information with them. We can review those exercises as well. Binks and Basil Apothecary, hello in California. Nice to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. Assad, hello in Pakistan. I'm very, very well. Thank you. Chris Jones in Rochester, New York. Hello, hello. Eric as well in California. And who else do we have here? Mike Alexander, migraines and snoring tips. Okay, we're going to put those up on the board. And Skinny Louise, hello. Jeannie as well, migraine relief. Okay, Vincent is here. Vinci, hello. Nice to have you here. Thanks for tuning in again from Germany. Hello, hello. Piyush Soni, migraines, and Bangladesh in Mumbai. It's Verma in India. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. So we have people from all over the world today, which is amazing. Okay, migraines. Let's go right straight to migraine tips. If you have chronic headaches, let's review a little bit about what we talked about yesterday. And please make sure if you are here for the first time that you hit that follow button, you are subscribing so that you always get notifications. So always turn on your notifications as well so that when we do go live, usually that happens every 2 weeks, we do have a live show where we go through a bunch of natural health topics. And then, of course, today on the Wednesday, following up after the Tuesday show, of course, we have the Q&A. So that's where you're at right now. Of course, on the Tuesday show, we do have quiz questions. It's very interactive. Yesterday, we actually played for a prize. We played for the Vitamucil from our great sponsors, Vitatree Nutritionals, Whole Food Vitamins. That's a great fiber supplement. So we can learn more about all of these things as well. And I know that some people yesterday were asking about my protocols for cleaning up the gut microbiome. So we will review that here as well. You can just remind me, just put it in the comments that you want to go through the microbiome cleansing tips and we'll go through that next. But let's talk about the headaches first. All right. These are the tips that I shared yesterday, and I had 9 of them specifically for migraines, but this is also great for tension headaches. If you are prone to, any type of headache that comes back, so it's a chronic thing, really we should never, ever have a headache. And when I used to say that to my patients, they'd be like, what? I mean, everybody gets headaches. No, we should not have a headache. It's an indication that something is out of balance, and here are my tips, all right? This applies not just to migraines, but to any type of headache. All right, avoid ALAN. Does everybody remember what ALAN is? Okay, put it in the comments if you remember what that is. All right, it's something that we went through in the show. Even if you're new here, do you know what this is? Maybe you haven't looked at the studies like I have about this, but this is important. Crypto Garage, yes, and we will get to that when I go through the microbiome cleanse. I know you have a very specific question about, something else, but I'll show you what I use in lieu of that. All right, so that's going to come up with my Cabo. All right, so yes, migraine with aura. Yes, okay, Frozen's Matt, you got it. Artificial light at night. So avoiding artificial light at night. What does that mean? That means after the sun has set, what are we doing? We are covering up our skin if we have lights on, and ideally we don't have lights on, especially from above after the sun has set. We want to keep lights on, if they are on, low to the ground, not from above, because what does that tell your brain? It tells your brain that it's the middle of the day, that the sun is shining, right? And now your circadian biology and your mitochondria, everything is going to get mixed messages as to what time of day it is, and that messes up your circadian clock mechanisms. And this can lead to things like lupus, which we talked about yesterday, and I found some of the research to back that up. And if you want me to talk about the lupus, we can go there in just a second as well after we talk about the microbiome stuff. Okay, so avoiding artificial light at night, what does that mean? So you have to be really, really conscientious of what type of light is coming in your eyes throughout the day, but artificial light at night Now, the research is showing that it spikes your blood glucose levels. It's really pro-inflammatory, so it's going to cause pain and inflammation. So this is something that you definitely want to get a good pair of blue light blocking glasses after the sun has set. You're putting these on, especially if you're watching a screen, and cover up your skin as well so that that artificial light isn't telling your skin and your organ systems that it is the middle of the day. All right, that's really important for your circadian rhythms, overall inflammation, headaches. So important, okay? So that's tip number one. Tip number two, you do want to get natural light in your eyes, especially as the sun is rising. So this is important. Again, this is going to set up your clock mechanisms, which is important for your circadian biology, but for chronic inflammation as well. And this is going to set the tone for your cortisol, your stress hormones, all your other hormones. We've got to get everything in sync again, especially if you're a migraine sufferer. So this becomes important. Get that natural sunlight in your eyes in the morning. Okay, vitamin D. Again, we've got to get natural sunlight exposure to make that vitamin D. Some people do supplement, I know. So finding a high quality vitamin D3 that's highly absorbed, really important. Grounding is important as well. So taking off your socks and shoes, wearing leather-soled shoes is a great way to ground as well. So that would be another option. We tend to always wear, rubber-soled shoes, but if you can wear, once in a while, wear your leather-soled shoes, that is going to help with your grounding. But it's best to just take off your socks and shoes and get outside and be on a grounded surface. That would be grass, that would be sand, that would be dirt. Rocks are grounding. A question came up yesterday about asphalt. Can you ground on asphalt? Not so much, no, because it's not conductive. So that would be, on a typical road surface, maybe you can't ground as well, but on concrete, yes, and definitely on the dirt, on the earth, yes, absolutely. All right, balance your blood sugar. So you know that erratic blood sugar issues related to migraine headaches as well, so keeping that balanced. I have a whole protocol of herbal medicines for this, which are incredible. It kind of works like that big drug out there, the injectable once a week that starts with an O. Yeah, I just heard some great results about it just earlier before I came live today of somebody taking my protocol and lost how many pounds? 23 pounds. Yeah, naturally. And having the same type of effect as those GLP-1 agonists, but doing it naturally. Yeah, with my protocol, I was super excited about that. That's a lot of weight, all right? So balancing your blood glucose levels, full body detox is another thing as well that we talk about, as well as, and I like to do that at least 3 to 4 times a year. That does go along with the CABO, so bad organisms in the gut and the candida issues. So cleaning that up. So full body detox, magnesium and electrolytes as well. So balancing electrolytes. Some people are very prone to getting headaches, migraines when the electrolytes are out of balance. So if you drink coffee, if you perspire a lot, if you just simply don't get enough magnesium and your electrolytes in your diet, which is very common, then that can make you very prone to headaches as well. DHA, of course, are omega-3s, which are anti-inflammatory. So from fish and seafood, sometimes it is indicated, of course, to take a high-quality DHA supplement. And essential oils. So let's go on over here. So I shared very specifically the fact that we can use peppermint essential oil, which is an amazing, amazing tool that is all natural. And especially when you feel a headache coming on, just put a couple drops on your finger and find all those tender spots on your head. It could be in your neck as well, even in your traps here. And just put a couple drops on those spots. Do not get it in your eyes because it will burn. I did that. I made a mistake of doing that at one of my son's basketball games, and I had it on my fingers. And yeah, for whatever reason, I rubbed my eye, and it was bad. I couldn't see for probably 20 minutes. I had to keep my eyes closed and they were watering, so don't get it in your eyes. But that peppermint essential oil is phenomenal for headaches, especially if you get it just when it's starting, then it can totally abate the headache and you won't get that headache. All right, so I want you to try those tips. I hope you screenshotted that. I hope that's helpful. And we're going to go to the microbiome next. Yes, thank you for all the questions. It is great. Denise says, with a headache, you have cold water and your headache is gone. Yeah, doing an ice bath. So just getting a big basin of water and putting some ice cubes in there and dunking your head can be great for headaches as well. Putting your hands, if you overheat, some people are very prone to heat, and especially women, perimenopausal women with heat flashes and sweats that they're getting from their hormones changing. So put your hands in some ice water. That can help with headaches as well. there's so many different tips and tricks. I like to, Layla, thank you. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in today. It's great to have you here. Chase, hello. Thank you for tuning in today. Great to have you here. And Archie from Manila in the Philippines, thank you for tuning in. Great to, see you here, maybe for the first time. And please do make sure that Eva, thank you for tuning in again. Better late than never, I always say. So thank you for being here. And make sure that you are subscribed and you hit the notifications as well. Thank you for all the hearts coming in as well. I appreciate that. Love you all. And thank you for being, so diligent at tuning in when you know that I do come and that I'm here live, which is amazing. All right, let's go through the Cabo really quickly. So this is all about cleansing the microbiome, if we can call it that, all right? So can you really cleanse the microbiome? Yeah, we can, let's say, have an impact on what's going on in the microbiome, which is, it's like a rainforest here, okay? We've got thousands upon thousands, millions, billions of different organisms that are actually alive and well in the gut. And this is something, we're actually more microorganisms in our body than what we are human cells. Now, what we need to do is make sure that, I always like to say, to really simplify it, that we've got more of the good guys outweighing the bad guys, because we can have some less favorable organisms in the gut, whether they are, worms, parasites, it could be candida. So, less favorable organisms that could be using your energy supply and all of the good stuff that hopefully you're eating in your diet and not really giving back to you in a healthy way. Yes, our healthy probiotics, the good guys, is something that we definitely want to have the proper balance of those, because that helps with our metabolism, helps to break down our food, helps to ensure that we get the proper absorption of our vitamins, for instance. So that's important. Now, in doing a protocol, as we can see here, very specifically, whether you have gut issues or not. So definitely if you've got gas, bloating, IBS, Crohn's, colitis, all of these things, this is something that is like your go-to protocol to help to clean up that gut microbiome. But we know that leaky gut syndrome, we know that, people who have chronic autoimmunity and you've got chronic inflammation, that the gut, it's not the whole story, but the gut may have a lot to do with what's going on. And for me, the way that I look at it, it's just like a good thing to do. We do spring cleaning, we do cleaning up, the closets, changing our wardrobe, at least here in North America where I live. There are certain seasons where we just kind of like to clean and tidy house. Well, this is the way that I look at it for our microbiome, to just stay ahead of that toxicity, but also help to clean up, some of those maybe less favorable organisms that are there because of the modern world that we live in, with so many EMFs and artificial light and not always following proper circadian rhythm, that we've become disconnected from our natural environment. So this is the protocol that I developed, which I've had so much great success with, whether it is chronic gut issues, whether it is even headaches, whether it is, low energy immunity, leaky gut, autoimmunity, thyroid issues. This is something that you can do, okay? So number one is your elimination phase. And this is where we use Cabo. So Cabo stands for a group of herbal medicines which work similar to one of the questions coming in, something that is well known now, starts with an I, that people are using to kill off bad things in their system. All right, so this starts with cloves. So this is why it's called Cabo, C-A-B-O, if you're here for the first time. Cloves, which help to kill not only the adult worms, but their eggs as well, and helps to dislodge them from the intestinal wall, so that becomes really important. As well as Artemisia, known to kill malaria, and has been used, centuries ago as a natural herbal medicine, which is so powerful in that regard. But also black walnut, as we know, is a powerful antiparasitic, and oregano. And not oregano oil. I get this question a lot. So oregano oil is, and can be, if you're just taking the drops of oregano oil, can be super, super strong. And because it's a fat, it needs to be emulsified. So not always the best thing for your liver health. I prefer the actual whole plant, where you're going to get a little bit of the essential oil, but also, the leaves and the entire plant, which is going to have the medicinal effects of it being a whole plant, and have those effects for helping to get rid of those bad guys, okay? So we start with the Cabo. You do this for 2 weeks, and then, can we go back to the protocol for a second? and then you take a 2-week break off of the Cabo, and then you start the full body detox, which is another group of herbal medicines that we talked about it the last time I was here a couple weeks ago. So here we go: dandelion, burdock, chlorella, milk thistle, horsetail, parsley, cascara, and bearberry. This is your full body detox, so it helps to address, a lot of the toxins in our different internal organs. For instance, dandelion, which is fantastic for your liver, and that's the dandelion root. Dandelion leaves are better for your kidneys. Burdock helps to cleanse the blood, great for lung detox as well. So for anybody who has chronic lung issues, chronic cough, the chlorella is a blue-green algae, which helps to trap heavy metal toxins. Milk thistle, of course, for the liver, but for the kidneys as well. And horsetail for the kidneys, which are tucked behind here. Parsley for the kidneys, it's a gentle diuretic, so like a water pill. Cascara for the gut, so gently helps to get things moving if you do have chronic constipation. And bearberry, which is great for the kidneys, all right? So that is your full body detox, because it's one thing to get rid of the bad guys in the microbiome, it's another thing to actually help to support the organ systems when you're eliminating those bad guys, especially candida, because candida, if you know, gives off over 60 different toxins as you're getting rid of it. So that's why people, when they do detoxes and cleanses, if they don't follow, a standard protocol like what I developed, then you get the headaches and you might get diarrhea and you can't go to work and you don't feel well. The way that I've designed this protocol, you can still go about your normal day, but you don't have to worry about those negative side effects, something called the Herxheimer reaction, okay? Which I talked about in one of my books. I think in maybe my first or my second book. And of course, my third book is out now, so we'll show that to you really quickly. A lot of my protocols that I talk about, of course, are in the newest book, The Lost Medicine. So if you haven't yet picked it up, please check it out. Yeah, you're gonna love it. It's great. So many fantastic feedback, that I'm getting back. From even experts in their fields, that aren't necessarily naturopathic doctors or alternative medicine practitioners, but that have written fantastic reviews for me. So I'm very proud of it, and I hope that you'll enjoy it and you're going to learn a lot from the book as well. If you have purchased my book already, please put a 1 in the comments. I want to see all of my followers who have been with me for such a long time. It's so great to have you here, and thank you so much for tuning in. Rowdy Bond, hello. Thank you. Itala Varela, thank you for tuning in again. You, Raj, thank you as well. And Frozen's Matt, thank you so much for being a supporter and purchasing the book. It's so great to have you here. Helen, thank you for tuning in. NZE, I'm not sure, Zami, thank you for tuning in today. Great to have you here. And it's awesome that, we have so many great supporters who have come back to the channel so many times again. And I appreciate all of, your great generosity and donations as well. So thank you. Okay, Kathy, all right, Dawn as well have purchased the book, so thank you for that and for coming back every week. I know you guys are here and tune into the lives every time that I come live, so thank you. All right, so another thing that we talked about was some of the food colorings that can be found in supplements. So here's the scary thing. Did you know that a lot of supplements have a lot of fake ingredients? And one of them is food dyes. And for whatever reason, they put it in supplements, maybe to color, the capsules, or to make the actual ingredients in the supplement, to make them maybe more attractive to the eye, but not necessarily a medicinal reason that we have these extra ingredients in supplements. So it's something that I definitely want you to check your labels for. Other things to avoid, of course, something that I've talked about a lot, magnesium stearate, which is a flow agent that they use to help to speed up production times, but it's never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption. So that's another one to be aware of. Silicon dioxide. Okay, so they use these as whiteners, brighteners, and desiccants. So it helps to dry up if things, and to extend shelf life. Titanium dioxide, still allowed here in North America. So I know people are watching from all over the world. It has been banned in Europe now, but still allowed in our supplements here in North America. So please make sure, and the fillers as well, so microcrystalline cellulose, just to to fill up the capsules made from wood chips. So please make sure if you do take supplements that, you choose some, the supplements that are not chemically based, so a whole food supplement, and making sure that, of course, it doesn't have the fillers and the flow agents becomes very, very important. A question came in yesterday, do I trust the minerals added to reverse osmosis tap water? Yes, I do. So it depends on the system. So that's something that we have in our home, so reverse osmosis, but then we know that reverse osmosis, by its nature, it's removing a lot of the good minerals from the water that were inherently there in the tap water, which were naturally occurring. So what we've done in our home is add a remineralizer back into, and I did some research on the company. I'm comfortable with the company that we chose, and and our drinking water, anybody who comes to our house is like, wow, your water is so good, it just tastes so good. People come and fill up their bottles because they love our water in our home. I'm okay with it, and of course you've always got to do your research and local to where you live, right? Like how bad is the tap water, and the affordability of reverse osmosis. For some people, purchasing in glass and purchasing spring water might be a better option, so you've got to do your due diligence there. Okay, so red light therapy, another question came in yesterday. What are my thoughts on red light therapy? I believe that it's definitely helpful depending on the season, the type of lights that you're purchasing, and doing red light, yes, in the evening, not too close to bed, because remember the lumen, so the strength of the light, you don't want to be too strong, especially after sunset, because really your environment should be quite dark at that point. Now, if you have a red light on sort of as ambient lighting, I'm okay with that, but you may not want to do intense red light therapy just before bed, because that could offset your circadian rhythms, unless you go to bed very close to sunset time, which would be a different story. So it depends. It really does depend. Thank you. Is red dye really made from bug's blood? Yes. So Mary Ann, this is a great question. There is a bug in which red food dye is derived. It is a real thing. And when I told my kids this, they were disgusted, absolutely disgusted, and stopped eating certain candies because of that red food dye. So even something at the big coffee house, cake pops, the pink ones at the big coffee house that a lot of people go to, had that dye in them, so that was a no-no. And in our family, after a while, when you know better, you do better, right? So that's a great question. As well as yesterday we did go. Husky Boy. Before I go over there, is that type of water pitcher. So I won't call out everybody can see Husky Boy's comments. I'm not going to call out brands because I don't want to say they're good or bad or for whatever reason. But that water pitcher that you fill into your, and you keep in your fridge, you fill with your tap water as opposed to with a charcoal filter. Yeah, it's been banned in some countries, and I'm going back like 25 years, 30 years ago. It was banned because it can collect a lot of bad bacteria over time, especially if you're not actively changing the filter. So it might be okay for the first, 2-3 weeks of using that filter, but then that filter becomes clogged either with bacteria or a combination of bacteria and, all of the toxins that you've trapped in there, and potential for that to leach into your water in a big, amount all at once is definitely something that you wouldn't necessarily want to be ingesting. So just do your research on that, and that's a great question. Thank you. Helen is asking the elimination phase, if you can only find clove. Yeah, so maybe my team can help you, because there is, a combination of all of the ingredients in the cabo that I talked about. That is something that you can definitely find, and depending on where you live, but that's something that you could definitely look into. And okay, so Rosalie wanted to see one of the screens. Okay, so come on over here, Rosalie. I'm not sure which point in today's live that you were asking about, that maybe we missed something on the screens. Is this, I'm not sure. All right, so maybe Rose, you can ask again what you wanted to see. We also talked about yesterday sun exposure tips for people who have a big sensitivity to the sun, and we also talked about plantar fasciitis, and we talked about SLE as well. So if there's something specifically that you want me to put up on the screen, then please let me know. And okay, another question. Okay, Zena Zion wants to know about plantar fasciitis, okay, with a lot of exclamation marks. Okay, let's go there. Let's talk about my 7 tips for plantar fasciitis, because maybe you missed yesterday's show. So you can screenshot the list, but let's go through it really quickly. Okay, so number 1 on my list is to massage. So either self-massage, which is available to you at any time, right? You just got to sit down and take the time to do it. So self-massage on the bottom of the foot, massaging the calf muscles as well, because often there's tension here and that's pulling up on your plantar fascia from the back of your calf. So that's going to be important. So self-massage, or go and have a professional massage, get your kids to massage your feet if you've got children or a husband or a wife or whatever. Then massage is a great thing, all right, for plantar fasciitis. Barefoot shoes, so your footbeds, you want to always allow for a wider toe box in your shoes. So, you know, if you do wear pointed shoes that are squishing your toes, not a great thing for plantar fasciitis. At least give your feet, you know, if you wear them for a little bit, take them off and give your feet a break and make sure that you're stretching the bottoms of your feet and allow for a wide toe box in all of your shoes. That's becoming more and more evident now. And barefoot shoes are a great thing if you are, you know, exercising, out for a walk, a jog, whatever, to get your feet used to that. That's going to be really helpful for plantar fasciitis. Now, there is a learning curve with this. If you've been in other types of athletic shoes before, and the first day you try to go for a walk or a run in barefoot shoes, you may encounter a little bit of pain, and it's not going to feel so good. So there is, you know, ease into it. Just do shorter bursts of that exercise, and then, you know, allow your feet to get used to it. But really, really remarkable for plantar fasciitis. Grounding. So again, wearing grounding shoes or taking off your socks and shoes, getting outside on the earth, really important to pull up the earth's electrons. And that's very anti-inflammatory, so that's really, really important for the plantar fasciitis. Calf stretches, so any type of stretching when you're stretching the bottom part of the back of your leg, your calf muscles, all right, your gastrocs, you definitely want to make sure that you do a lot of that throughout the day. Don't wait until just before and after exercise, just do it as much as you can throughout the day. Number 5, making sure that your electrolytes are balanced, so especially magnesium deficiency is really common here with plantar fasciitis. So magnesium bisglycinate is my favorite type, and I can write that out for you if you want to see exactly the type. We can go over to the board. Just let me know if yes, just put yes, magnesium, and we can go over there. Curcumin, powerful anti-inflammatory. Painkiller, right? So that can be really a great natural tool that you're using for any type of chronic pain. Remarkable. Just make sure that there's an actual turmeric powder plus the curcumin, and make sure it's been tested for lead, that there aren't any heavy metals, which is really common in turmeric supplements. Aztec, thank you. Queen, thanks for sharing today's live. And if everybody could hit the share button, I truly appreciate it. Rosel, thank you for the follow. Thanks for all the new people that are here today. Plantar fasciitis absolutely can go away and be gone forever. And Penny, any type of massage. So you could do reflexology massage, you could do self-massage, you could see a massage therapist, any full body massage, any type of massage, but especially working at the bottom of your feet is really important with plantar fasciitis. Thank you, Simone, for sharing. Thank you so much. It is amazing to have you here today. All right. And okay, Zena, you love this list. I hope that you screenshotted it. Okay, as well as the DHA, which is anti-inflammatory, of course, from fish. And seafood is the best, most readily absorbed form. And of course, a high-quality DHA fish oil supplement can really help as well. All right, did anybody want to see the magnesium? Should we go there next? Or no, it's all right. We don't have to. Oh, snoring tips, Valerie. Yes, okay, we're going to go through those tips in just a second. All right. So my tips for lupus, really quickly, if you want to screenshot this list, I won't go into too much detail. You can still watch yesterday's show. So if you missed the entire live show yesterday where we did talk about lupus, SLE, please check it out. It is living on, and all my shows are archived on my channel. So yeah, so you can definitely check it out. Just look up yesterday's episode and you're going to find it. But these are the tips that we went through yesterday for lupus. Okay, Mother Nature's prescription, what is that? Grounding, sunlight, exposure. Even if you have the sensitivity on your skin and you think that you can't go outside in the sun, there are ways to be able to do that. That's what we talked about yesterday. And all those specific tips are actually in my book, In the Lost Medicine. So you can check that out there, how to get natural sunlight exposure. even if you have a sensitivity to the sun. That's not just for people who have lupus. That's a lot of people, all right? Maybe you're taking medication that you can't go out in the sun. You have to be really careful. So I share my tips on how to do that and what time of day to get out into that sun. Grounding, of course, DHA, seasonal foods, so eating a seasonal diet. So based on where you live and what is available in the season in which you're in. Really important for any type of autoimmune condition, any type of condition really. And I talk about that in my book as well. Turmeric with the active curcumin is fantastic, and fiber. So there was actually some research behind the curcumin, specifically for lupus. And we showed you a study yesterday, and they found it as a safe adjuvant therapy and ameliorated the autoimmune activity and inflammation in SLE patients. And it was modulating the anti-dsDNA and IL-6 levels, the inflammatory markers, the inflammatory cytokines. So IL-6, interleukin 6 is actually very similar to leptin. So if you've ever heard me talk about leptin resistance and weight loss and getting your hormones in balance, and that's a whole chapter in my book that I did a lot of research on for myself, for my own health, and issues with metabolism and my thyroid, so that I made sure that I put that section in my book, and that is something that you can learn more about, because that could be, partially related with your leptin, what's happening with the autoimmunity as well with lupus. All right, so curcumin has been found to be helpful, as well as number 6 on my list for lupus was fiber, so optimizing your fiber intake, and of course that mind-body connection, so making sure that you're relaxation. And autoimmunity often has sort of this component of self-attack, so maybe, your outlook on yourself and your self-confidence. So just planting these seeds. That's why I always bring up the mind-body connection, because there's often something there's a disconnect for the way that you see yourself, or the way that you feel about yourself, and this is where we can have that, autoimmunity component of self-attack, and it's so important to be able to turn that around, and it's, something that we can definitely do. So great for you to have all tuned in today. Husky Boy, okay, I'm so glad that the information is helpful. That's amazing. And Sharon, thank you for the blessings. So many kind people here. Amazing. Husky Boy, how do you do the grounding? Take off your socks and shoes and go outside. That and under natural sunlight. So important to be able to do that. Also, if you jump into a lake or into the ocean, that could be, something that's amazing as well for grounding, because that is grounding, as well as taking a shower. You're grounding in most case scenarios as well, because the water is very grounding. Okay, anti-snoring exercises. Should we go over here really quickly? All right, so we went through some of the things that we can do for snoring. So if this is for you or someone that you love. So the first exercise, you're going to take the tip of your tongue, and we'll go over here for a second, tip of your tongue, and press it to the top teeth at the back where they connect with your palate. All right, so the roof of your mouth. So you're going to put the tip of your tongue there, and then you're going to slide it backwards, all right? And just pressing gently on the roof of your mouth and sliding your tongue backwards. You're going to do that. Maybe I can show you with Lucy here. I didn't think of doing this yesterday. This would have been smart. Okay, so your tongue is going to go up against your teeth, and then slide your tongue backwards. And no, you will not swallow your tongue, all right? So doing that, and repeat that, and you can do that 5 to 10 times, okay? So the tip of your tongue, press it here, and then just kind of press against your upper palate there. Then you're going to make a clicking sound with your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Okay, you're going to do that 10 times. You can repeat that a few times, so 3 times 10 or 5 times 10. And what this is doing for snoring is helping to strengthen all this musculature, which can get weak, and that's why, number one, you can't keep your mouth closed when you're sleeping and you become a mouth breather, but also even in speaking and eating, there's a way to have that proper tongue posture, which helps to strengthen things so that you're not more prone to snoring, all right? You can look this up. It's not just me saying this, all right? It's things that I learned as I do a lot of research. Okay, the next one is mewing, so something that we do with facial yoga exercises, so really it's just holding your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and you're going to hold it there for 10 seconds, pressing gently up and a little bit forward with your tongue. And this helps to straighten out your jawline as well. So tightens up that jawline, which is great. You can do that for 10 seconds and repeat that 5 times. And then we can also say all of the alphabets, so really enunciating and saying A, E, I, O, U, and that again helps to strengthen. And of course singing, so if you're a singer, then this is great. Do a lot more singing, and that can help to get rid of the snoring. All right, so I hope that that helps you. Mabel, thank you for tuning in from Ghana. Nice to have you here. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Orlando, thank you for sharing today's live. Amazing to have so many. Is it Mira Smart Hero? Thank you. So many kind comments today. Well, thank you so much. So I do want you to tune in. So in a couple weeks, we're going to be back Tuesday, September 16th. So make a little note in your calendars. We will be back for the Dr. Janine show. Again, that is at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go through new topics in that show. Remember, you'll be able to play for a prize. We will announce the winner of yesterday's show who won the Vitamucil. That person is always randomly selected from all of our participants in the live show on Tuesday. So that's happening Tuesday, September 16th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll see you then for the next live show. And then, of course, the following day, we'll do the Q&A again, and you can ask all of your questions. It was great to have you all here today. Have a great couple of weeks, everyone. Continue to look at all of my content. Thank you for sharing all of my content as well with your friends. I truly appreciate it. You guys are the best. Okay, we'll see you. Have a great day. Bye.